Hey Celtics fans, things are heating up as we get closer to the start of the season, and there's a lot to unpack when it comes to Boston's roster and what we can expect on opening night. First off, let's talk about Jaylen Brown, who has been a major topic of discussion lately. He went through a full practice today, which is promising news, especially considering the challenges hamstring injuries can bring. Those injuries are notoriously tricky, and any small setback can linger. Brown himself has been cautious, saying he feels good, but will take things day by day when it comes to his availability for the season opener against Philadelphia. That kind of measured approach makes sense, given his history. Back in 2021, he missed a significant stretch of games due to a hamstring issue, including a re-aggravation that kept him out even longer. The Celtics simply cannot afford to rush him back, but at the same time, they need him out there. His presence on the floor is critical. Not just because he scores over 25 points per game and is an all-NBA level talent, but because he's also arguably the team's best wing defender. Without him, the Celtics lose a lot of their structure and defensive versatility, which is especially concerning with Tatum sidelined. The balance of this team depends on Brown stepping in at full strength. If he has to miss the opener, it's not ideal, but the hope is he will be ready to go by Friday against the New York Knicks, which could set the tone for the early part of the season. Adding an interesting layer to today's practice, the former Knicks head coach stopped by to assist the team. He shared insights and pointers from his experience against Boston in the postseason, offering a unique perspective on what worked and what didn't. Jaylen Brown commented on the value of having him there, emphasizing how much he appreciated the opportunity to learn from someone who had just been on the other side of high-stakes playoff battles. He noted that watching and understanding what strategies were effective against them last year is an invaluable way to grow. This wasn't about copying a playbook, but rather understanding tendencies, decision-making, and how defenders might react in different scenarios. For players like Brown and Tatum, who often handle the ball in critical moments, these insights provide a roadmap for improvement and a chance to refine their game. It's about growth, learning, and taking advantage of every opportunity to evolve as a player. The Celtics clearly see the value in this kind of experience, especially as they look to build momentum early in the season. Even though the Knicks now have a new coach and won't run the same system, the insights into player tendencies and defensive strategies remain relevant. Brown's openness to learning demonstrates the kind of mindset that can elevate the team's performance when it matters most. Shifting gears to the front court, there's been a lot of speculation about who will anchor the Celtics at center this season. With the departures of Al Horford, Luke Kornet, and Chris Porzingis, the position has opened up, and it looks like Kata is poised to step into that role. Joe Mazzulla hinted strongly that Kata will be the starting center, emphasizing the level of trust and expectation the coaching staff has in him. This is a major step for Kata, who has yet to experience consistent extended minutes in the NBA. Most of his appearances have been limited, bouncing between the G League and sporadic NBA action. Even last season, his average minutes hovered around 13 per game, which is not enough to make a significant impact. Now, he's being entrusted with a much larger role, a chance to show that he can deliver night in and night out. Kata himself acknowledged the weight of the opportunity, but also maintained a grounded perspective, focusing on helping the team whether he starts or comes off the bench. His mindset, shaped by experiences such as starting for Portugal in Eurobasket, has prepared him to handle increased responsibility. That international experience allowed him to go up against a variety of competition, including players with NBA-level talent, giving him a taste of what to expect when facing top-level athletes regularly. Kata's breakout as a player will depend on several factors. He must limit foul trouble, as he has a tendency to pick up unnecessary fouls, which can disrupt rhythm and availability. Court awareness will also be critical, especially in a Celtics offense that prioritizes spacing and high-volume three-point opportunities. He needs to understand positioning, both offensively and defensively, to maintain floor balance and create opportunities for perimeter shooters. Beyond that, developing a reliable kick-out game is essential. When he secures the ball down low, his first instinct should be to find open shooters rather than forcing a shot in traffic. Establishing trust and timing with players like Brown, Tatum, and others will allow him to be an effective hub for the offense. Additionally, improving his hands and ensuring secure catches will reduce turnovers and increase efficiency. If Kata can refine these elements, there's potential for him to emerge as one of the most improved players this season. Even small developments, like stepping out for mid-range or occasional three-point shots, could elevate his value significantly and make him a versatile threat on both ends of the court. The pressure on Kata is high because the Celtics' frontcourt depth is thinner than in previous years. Players like Luka Garza or Xavier Tillman don't provide the same level of production or defensive presence, so the team's success will heavily rely on Kata stepping up. His ability to adapt, stay disciplined, and execute the system will be crucial. If he can deliver, the Celtics could have a surprisingly potent lineup despite the apparent frontcourt limitations. With Brown recovering and Kata taking on a larger role, Boston's early season performance will be shaped by how these key pieces integrate, execute, and maintain consistency under pressure. The combination of veteran leadership, emerging talent, and thoughtful coaching could provide the perfect environment for growth. But the margin for error is slim, and the team will need every advantage it can get. Now, as we shift the focus to the broader Celtics roster, there are a few dynamics that fans need to keep an eye on. The backcourt and wing positions carry their own set of questions and expectations. With Jaylen Brown's availability being closely monitored, the team is relying heavily on other contributors to step up in the early stretch of the season. Derek White, for instance, will likely have an expanded role in ball handling and facilitating the offense, especially in moments when both Brown and Tatum are on the floor. White's ability to make quick reads, push the pace, and create opportunities for his teammates could define how effectively the Celtics transition from half-court sets to fast-break situations. The interplay between the guards and wings, along with Kata anchoring the paint, will ultimately dictate how well Boston executes on both ends of the court. One intriguing aspect of the current Celtics lineup is how the team balances scoring, spacing, and defensive responsibility. With Brown and Tatum, there's already elite scoring and wing defense, but adding new or less experienced players into the mix changes the calculus. Kata, for example, has shown glimpses of being a reliable presence down low, but consistency will be the key. He must not only protect the rim, but also serve as a reliable outlet for kickouts and secondary offense. The floor spacing implications of having him as a starter cannot be understated. Opposing defenses will collapse if he becomes a dominant post presence, which could create open shots on the perimeter. This is where players like Anthony Simons and Sam Hauser need to be ready to capitalize. If they consistently hit their three-point shots, it opens up the paint for drives from guards and wings, creating a multi-dimensional offense that can challenge any defense. The Celtics' offensive fluidity will depend on players understanding these subtle interactions, moving without the ball, and reading the defense effectively. Defensively, Boston has always been a team that relies on switching, rotations, and versatile athletes to cover multiple positions. The absence of Brown, even for a few minutes, puts extra pressure on others to maintain defensive integrity. The team's ability to communicate, rotate, and stay disciplined in both half-court and transition defense will be under scrutiny in the opening games. Small mistakes can snowball quickly, particularly against teams that thrive in exploiting mismatches. The Knicks, for instance, even with a new head coach, still present challenges that Boston must navigate carefully. Understanding opponent tendencies, as was highlighted by the recent practice visit, is one thing, but executing in-game at a high level is a different challenge altogether. The Celtics need to take those insights, combine them with their own athletic strengths, and translate them into tangible results on the court. Another storyline worth noting is the development of the supporting cast. Players who may have seen limited minutes in previous seasons now have the chance to make a significant impact. The growth of bench contributors will be critical for sustaining energy and performance over a long season. Whether it's through scoring bursts, defensive stops, or playmaking, these players need to embrace their roles and deliver consistently. With Brown and Kata being focal points, the secondary pieces must complement them effectively. The coaching staff will likely emphasize spacing, timing, and decision-making during practices to ensure that everyone is on the same page once games start. This season could be defined as much by the contributions of role players as by the star performances of the team's cornerstone athletes. Looking at the Celtics' offensive strategy, a big part of their success will come from how they handle pace and space. Fast break opportunities, secondary transition plays, and high-percentage mid-range looks all depend on timing and chemistry. Players like Brown, when fully healthy, can push the tempo and create mismatches. Kata, when positioned correctly, can attract defenders, forcing rotations that open up the floor for shooters. White's court vision and passing accuracy will be essential in orchestrating these moments. The synergy between these components, alongside disciplined floor spacing, will determine whether Boston's offense is dynamic or stagnant. In addition, the team's ability to adapt in real time, reacting to defensive adjustments, will test both player IQ and resilience. Those who can read the game, anticipate opponent movements, and make split-second decisions will shine in this system. Defensively, rim protection remains a key focus. Kata's role as a center is more than just scoring. He needs to anchor the paint, contest shots, and control rebounds. Limiting fouls while maintaining physicality is a delicate balance, but crucial for sustaining defensive rhythm. The wings, led by Brown and supported by others, must maintain active hands, disrupt passing lanes, and communicate switches. The cohesion of defensive rotations is what allows the Celtics to absorb offensive pressure from opposing teams without breaking down. Attention to detail here will be just as important as offensive execution, especially in games where small margins can decide the outcome. The ability of the team to operate as a cohesive defensive unit, even when star players are on the bench or resting, will likely be a defining factor in their pursuit of Eastern Conference success. In terms of game preparation, the Celtics appear to be taking every possible advantage seriously. Learning from past experiences, incorporating insights from former opponents, and building a disciplined, versatile roster all indicate a team committed to growth. The balance between patience and urgency is critical, ensuring that Brown is healthy while pushing Kata and others into more prominent roles requires careful management. This season could see the emergence of new stars, improved role players, and strategic evolutions that make the Celtics more formidable than their roster might initially suggest. Every practice, every drill, and every decision carries weight. How well the team integrates these lessons, adjusts in real time, and executes under pressure will ultimately determine whether they're capable of competing at the highest level in the Eastern Conference. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Rumors are swirling around the NBA world as whispers of a blockbuster trade have reached Boston. LAURI MARKKANEN, the Finnish forward known for his sharp shooting and versatility, is reportedly on the verge of joining the Boston Celtics in what insiders are already calling a colossal trade. While official confirmation is still pending, sources close to the situation suggest that this move could dramatically reshape the Celtics lineup and alter the balance of power in the Eastern Conference. MARKKANEN, who has steadily carved out a reputation as one of the league's most efficient big men from beyond the arc, seems to be a perfect fit for Boston's style of play. The Celtics, always looking for ways to blend perimeter shooting with size and athleticism, could benefit immensely from his ability to stretch defenses and create mismatches. If the deal goes through, fans can expect a lineup featuring MARKKANEN alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, creating a trio that could be one of the most potent offensive combinations in the league. The trade rumors have sparked intense speculation about what Boston gave up in return. While details remain murky, insiders hint at a package that could involve multiple assets, potentially including draft picks and role players, aimed at balancing the salary cap while keeping the team competitive. Analysts are already debating how this move might affect the Celtics' championship aspirations, with some suggesting it signals a win-now mentality and a desire to shake up the roster after a series of playoff near misses. Social media has exploded with reactions to the MARKKANEN news, with fans expressing a mix of excitement and curiosity. Finnish basketball enthusiasts are also celebrating, seeing one of their brightest stars potentially taking on a pivotal role with one of the NBA's most storied franchises. Even without official confirmation, the buzz surrounding this potential trade is enough to dominate headlines and ignite conversations across the basketball community. As the Celtics and their front office navigate the final details, the league watches closely. Should the trade materialize, Boston could emerge as a revamped contender, blending youth, talent, and shooting in a way that could make them a nightmare matchup for any opponent. One thing is certain, LAURI MARKKANEN to Boston is the kind of rumor that fans won't stop talking about anytime soon. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.